Hey, what's up? It's me, Thomas Murphy, and today we will be looking at my Red Eyes deck profile again. Yes, another update. Anyways, let's release the Red Eyes.
So with me, you pretty much know that I am a Red Eyes Black Dragon player, of course, because that was my childhood favourite monster in Yu-Gi-Oh! So I have been making a few updates with this deck throughout a few times. I tried to modernize it a bit. I'm not a straight up competitive player, and for a bit of warning about my deck is that it is a 59 card deck. I get that people hate decks that have that amount, but at least some of the cards are searchable in this. Okay, so I would tell you that, and I basically like to have this deck to be is casual, but at the same time just little bit challenging, little bit competitive. Anyways, I'll just show you guys my deck right away. So I have 3 copies of Red Eyes Black Dragon. I'm still keeping this one anyway, because this was the Red Eyes Black Dragon that I had when I was 6 years old. And got these new ones. So yeah, I have 3 of those. Obviously, you need in a Red Eyes deck. I have 3 copies of Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon. They are Geminis, and you can't search them as normal monsters, but you can special summon them as normal monsters when they're in the graveyard or on the field. You can use them as normal monsters. So they're actually a really nice addition, and it's like an extra copies. They're basically extra copies of your traditional Red Eyes Black Dragon. But for the Gemini effect, it's basically that when a battle's a monster, it can you can inflict 2400. So that's pretty neat. But what I did with my Red Eyes deck, I'm not really using the Gemini effect. This is just more of like, say, for your other things that you'd be using, like say the cards of the Redstone and stuff like that, as well as fusion materials. We'll get to that later. Anyways, oops, sorry, my camera just went. And we got a fly. Lovely. Ah! Anyways, sorry about that. We have 2 copies of Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon. Now, this is something that I also use. So it's basically that you can send 1 level 5 or higher normal monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, it can increase this card's level by 1, so it can become a level 7 monster. That is actually really good if I, say, wanted to do some Xyz summoning as well. So I love using this for Xyz materials, but I also like Foolish Burialing this card anyway as well. So I like sending this card to the graveyard, so I can actually activate its secondary effect, which basically does is that for later on the next turn, not at the same turn, but on the next turn, you can actually banish this and add a Red Eyes Fusion from your graveyard or from your deck to your hand. So you can add one of these, or say if you're basically in a tight spot and you have this in your graveyard, you can banish this and play Red Eyes Fusion. Now, since I'm showing you the fusion materials, you basically Gonna know what I'm gonna be using. Sorry about the sunlight reflection. 2 copies of Dark Magician. Of course, I'm using my older brother's Dark Magician here, as well as using this new print that is Yugi Moto's Dark Magician from Dark Side of Dimensions. Yeah, so I'm using that one. I actually like this one better, but yeah. So this is for your Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, obviously. You're not using it for other things anyway, just the Dark Dragoon anyway. 2 copies of Lord of the Red. Yes, I am ritual summoning, but this is actually a really good ritual monster. The ritual spell card is searchable, Red Eyes Transmigration, but during either player's turn when a card effect has been activated, you can instant destroy anything, and that's what I really love about this card. So, using Red Eyes Transmigration, and if, say, your opponent is using Pendulum Scales, you can, so if any of your opponents, either you or your opponent was activating a card effect, you can use this card to, say, destroy a trap card, or a continuous spell, or a pendulum, or one of the pendulum scales. So, yeah, I use 2 copies, and it's really good. I love using him. For singles, we have Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon is basically your core. So you always need one of these. Even though that on the ban list, it's limited to 1. But that's okay. I only need 1. And basically is that you can banish a dragon, and then you by special summon this by banishing a dragon, and you can actually revive dragons from your graveyard or special summon dragons from your hand. 1 copy of Red Eyes Alternative Black Dragon. You can actually, what you basically is that you can just send a any Red Eyes monster from your hand or field to the graveyard, special summon this. I like using it for Xyz materials as well, because it's a quick way to special summon it. But if this gets sent to the graveyard, gets destroyed and sent to the graveyard, I can special summon one of my Red Eyes Black Dragons and double its attack points. Meteor Dragon, Red Eyes Impact. I mean, this is for fusion materials. I don't really use it for anything else, but for a bit of a little sneak peek, yes, I am kind of not just using it for fusion materials, but I can also use it for synchro materials, which we will get to that later. And its Gemini effect is same here with Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon. It is a Gemini, but I'm not using its Gemini effect. Plus, this one's Gemini effect is pretty bad. Anyways, Gearfried the Red Eyes Iron Knight. This is just basically a straight up normal summon that I can do, but it actually has a really cool equip effect, which is basically acts as a MST, a walking MST if I want to, as well as special summoning a Red Eyes from my graveyard, which I'll show you how it works soon. So basically, if this gets equipped by anything, I can destroy the equip card, and then which allows me to destroy a spell or trap card. That's pretty cool. Black Metal Dragon, I use 3 copies. The Black Metal Dragon is what I use for Gearfried the Red Eyes Iron Knight, because not only that I could use it for Gearfried, destroys it, but I can also not just special summon a level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster from my graveyard, but I'm also destroying a spell and trap, and I can search out for any Red Eyes card I want anyway, as long as the front title says Red Eyes, not listed Red Eyes. Yeah, I wish they could do that, but nah. But it's also a equip card that I can use for Red Eyes Black Dragon to for it to gain 600 extra, so like Dragon Nails in the Yu-Gi-Oh anime. 2 copies of Blackstone of Legend. I did run 3 before, but I kind of feel like that 3's a little too much. Plus, I'm basically just using the cut Red Eyes monsters for fusion materials, not so much for. I'm not always summoning a vanilla Red Eyes all the time. You know, it's not always the best bet to go. But for tuners, I run 2 copies of Flameveil Guard. Yes, Red Eyes don't really use synchro monsters or synchro summoning, but some of the synchro cards are actually compatible for my Red Eyes anyway. So using Flameveil Guard, since it's a normal monster and it's a level 1 dragon, it is searchable in it is kind of searchable. I'll show you the spell cards that I use soon, so we'll get to that later. So you can summon it and tune any of your, say, well, you'll see what it is anyway, so I won't hold up anyway. Alright, so that's it for monster cards. We'll get into hand traps. Hand traps. I run 3 copies of Effect Veiler during your opponent's main phase for quick effect. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, and if you do, it can just basically negate the effect. So you basically just like send it to the grave, and you can stop your opponent's monsters from activating its effect, just to give you a bit of protection. So it's really good to have to discard. 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Obviously, you need Ash Blossom in the meta games. Absolute nightmare. Anyway, when a card or effect is activated and includes any of these effects, quick effect, you can discard this card and negate the effect, which is adding a card from the hand, special summoning from the deck, or sending a card from the deck to the graveyard. Oh yeah, it's absolutely a really crazy thing to use, but it is kind of fun to do, and it is a really good card to use. 3 copies of Ghost Ballet Haunted Mansion. It is kind of like Ash Blossom, but instead of from the deck, it is from the graveyard. So you're basically doing that anyway. So banishing a card from the graveyard, special summoning a monster card from the graveyard, or adding a card from the graveyard to the hand or the deck, or extra deck. So it is basically doing that. So you're basically protecting. You can also protect your monsters from Called by the Grave with this card, so that's really good. And 3 copies of Dark Honest. That card, those cards, absolutely awesome to use, especially since I run a Dark Attribute deck anyway. So basically, that you're just gonna do is if, say, any of your Red Eyes monsters are up against something stronger, like, say, if you were battling it against, yeah, let's just say a high attack point monster. I mean, there's so many. So many. Yeah, you could just basically discard this, and then the monster that's attacking your one of your Red Eyes dragons loses all of its attack points, and it crashes into my Red Eyes dragon, any of my Red Eyes dragons, and I basically not just destroy their monster, but I basically inflicted battle damage as well. So it is kind of like so you're basically, say, the stronger the monster it's attacking, the more life points your opponent is going to lose, as well as losing a monster. So, like, say, yeah, I would say, for example, is, say, Cyberran Dragon. If Cyberran Dragon, if a Cyberran Dragon was attacking my Meteor Black Comet Dragon, I can just discard this, and my opponent basically loses 3,500 at life points, as well as yeah. So it is kind of like honest, but it is the reverse. Instead of your monster gaining attack points, your opponent's monsters lose attack points. So it's a pretty neat card. And that's it for the hand traps. So I am basically running 12 hand traps in this deck. Anyways, let's get on to spell cards. The spell cards, I run 3 copies of Red Eyes Fusion. I can fusion summon any Red Eyes Fusion monster. And when you fusion summon with this spell card, this Red Eyes Fusion monster's name becomes Red Eyes Black Dragon. And the extra cool thing about this is that not only you're using it, you're using the fusion materials from your hand, but you can also use it from your deck, which is actually an absolute lifesaver. Actually, just makes life easier. But the downfall is that you can only activate 1 and you can't summon anything else. But it's alright, but due to this card being able to name the Red Eyes Fusion monster Red Eyes Black Dragon, goes so well with the next spell card, Inferno Fire Blast. Target 1 Red Eyes Black Dragon in your monster zone and inflict damage. Even though I can't attack on the same time, but it actually works so well with Red Eyes Fusion, as well as the Red Eyes Fusion monster that I can use. And this actually allows you to FTK, so I freaking love using this. I love using, that is like one of my favorite spell cards, because it's just like, you use this, and then you basically inflict a shit ton of damage. 2 copies of Claw of Hermos. I'm using this for, of course, for a particular fusion monster. It's just basically use this, and you can use it on any dragon type monster, and you'll see what it is in the future. 2 copies of Red Eyes Transmigration, obviously for your for Lord of the Red. So I know that my Lord of the Red is not searchable, but at least Red Eyes Transmigration is, so there's that. Sorry, I burped. Yeah, that's so basically that you just ritual summon. It's a ritual spell card, so you just need to send cards with the same amount of levels as Lord of the Red, so level 8. But yeah, so you just use that for Lord of the Red, and it is searchable with Black Metal Dragon. 2 copies of Cards of the Redstone. It's like your trade-ins, but for level 7 Red Eyes Dragons. Send 1 Red Eyes monster from your hand or the graveyard and draw 2 cards. So it is basically like that, which is why Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon would come in handy for that. 2 copies of Dragon Revival Rasfidi. You'll probably see why I use that anyway for when we look at the extra deck, as well as me having Dark Magician, and I have spoiled what I use for fusion materials, what I'm using for fusion monsters, so yeah, obviously using that, and I do have other spellcasters, which we'll see later. Basically, you just special summon 2 dragons as long as one's a normal monster, and you have a but you can only activate it when you have a spellcaster on the field. To help with searching for Red Eyes Transmigration or Red Eyes Fusion, I have 2 copies of Red Eyes Insight. You just basically send a Red Eyes monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and I can add any Red Eyes monster I want, which is, well, also goes so well with the Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon, because you could use that, and later on you can just banish it to grab out a Red Eyes Fusion if you need it. One copy of Silver's Cry, just a regular, straight up, needing to summon a normal monster soon. Just need to arrange this. So just need to do that. One copy of 1-for-1. You can use it for Black Metal Dragon, Flamevale Guard, and Blackstone of Legend, and it works so well with this. Basically discard and special summon a normal monster, a level 1 monster. Pot of Avarice, just in case you need to, say, reload with the amount of Red Eyes monsters you've sent from the deck to the graveyard, as well as you can also use this to reload your hand traps if you want. And, of course, I really do not like this artwork. I absolutely hate this artwork, but it's a really good card effect. Basically, select 5 monster cards from your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, and draw 2 cards. Good effect, hate the artwork. Super Rejuvenation, I knew that you're going to be, using cards like, say, cards of the Redstone. You're going to be using so many, like, summoning and sending dragons to the graveyard as well. And this is really good to use anyway, obviously. Super Rejuvenation is so good in any Dragon-type deck. Dragon-type, not, I don't think it would work well with Thunder Dragon or Cyber Dragons. I'm sorry. But, yeah, for a regular Dragon deck, like, say, Blue Eyes or, or Armed Dragon. Yeah, that works good. One Raigeki, obviously destroy all monsters if I want to swing for game. And to go with Raigeki, I can also use Wingbeat of Giant Dragons. Basically, that I can destroy all spell and trap cards and return one of my high level dragons back to my hand, which I could actually use, like, say, pretty funny ass combo that I could do with this. So if I, say, had one of my level 7 Red Eyes dragons, I use this, grab the Red Eyes, grab my Red Eyes Black Dragon back to my hand, use cards of the Redstone, discard that Red Eyes Black Dragon, draw 2 cards, and then Silver's Cry to return my Red Eyes Black Dragon. That's just a crazy ass combo that I did before. 2 copies of Magical Stone Excavation. This actually, I mainly use this if I'm going to use the Red Eyes FTK effect, so Inferno Fire Blast, just to discard 2 cards and add any spell card to my hand, and 1 copy of Monster Reborn. That's it for the spell cards. That's a lot I could say. Now, let's look at the extra deck. Alright, so moving on to the final part of the deck, the extra deck. So now, I run 2 copies of Meteor Black Comet Dragon. This is a card that I love using with my Red Eyes Fusion, along with the Inferno Fire Blast. Basically, is a monster that you can FTK and auto win. So basically, if this card is Fusion Summon, I can send 1 Red Eyes monster from my hand or deck to the graveyard. So I can use Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon to inflict half the attack points, which it says in there, equal to half the original attack points. But if this gets destroyed, I can special summon a normal monster from my graveyard, which is a really awesome effect. And plus, the awesome bonus is that if I'm fusion summoning this monster with Red Eyes Fusion, its name becomes Red Eyes Black Dragon, and the fact that using Inferno Fire Blast is compatible, it's got 3,500 attack points. So I'm basically, if I use 2 of them, along with using its fusion summoning effect, it's a straight up FTK anyway. Since it's a 3,500 attack point monster. Awesome. I just friggin' love these cards. My favorite Red Eyes Fusion monster. Second favorite Red Eyes Fusion monster. Yeah. Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. I mean, like, you know, you obviously know about, since I've just showed you the main deck, that I have 2 copies of Dark Magician, just to make Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Now, I actually do love this card a lot, but I don't know how to put it up, but I feel like that in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, I kind of feel like that a lot of people didn't actually... I remember how a lot of people didn't really care about Red Eyes that often in the meta series, but ever since when Red Eyes Dark Dragoon came out, everyone just went like, oh, I'm just going to make a Red Eyes deck right away. I never built one, but I'm going to make it right away. And I was like, I've been a Red Eyes player before this card was released. And it is kind of annoying how, you know, people would talk too much about this card. I do like using it. But I just feel like that people only wanted to make a Red Eyes deck just because of this, or a Dark Magician deck just because of this, which is actually, to me, very annoying. Anyways, cannot be destroyed by card effects. Neither player can target this card for card effects, and basically during my turn, the main phase, I can destroy one monster my opponent controls, or 1 or 2 actually, and inflict damage to the attack points equal to that monster's original attack points. So you could do a really awesome OTK effect. Another thing that you could do with this is that, so during either player's turn when a card effect has been activated, I can discard a card, negate and destroy, and this card gains 1,000 attack points. So it is an absolutely broken card, not gonna lie. But I've just, you know, I do love using it, but I feel like that people only cared about Red Eyes and Dark Magician. Well, started caring about Red Eyes just because of this card. Just saying, really. So I don't rely on this card too often, just to let you guys know. I don't rely on this. I do like using it, but I only use it for last resorts. 2 copies of Red Eyes Black Dragon Sword. This card is also really good with the Buster Blader effect. Well, it does have a Buster... Sorry. This card basically has a Buster Blader effect when you equip it to anything. So what I like doing is every time I use this, I actually do like equipping this to my Lord of the Red, since during either player's turn when a card effect has been activated, you can use Lord of the Red, equip it with the Red Eyes Black Dragon Sword. So every time when this gains attack points, because of Red Eyes Black Dragon Sword, I also inflict, I can also destroy any card on the field, as well as this gaining attack points due to Lord of the Red's effect, and I love using this combo. And this is why I have Claw of Hermos, is for the Red Eyes Black Dragon Sword. But yeah, that's another thing that's another card that I use for last resorts. These are my only fusion monsters. So 2 copies of Meteor Black Comet Dragon, 2 copies of Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, and 2 copies of Red Eyes Black Dragon Sword. Now, synchros. I have 1 copy of Stardust Dragon. It basically, what I basically use it for is just to protect my monsters from effects like, say, Raigeki, Mirror Force, or other destructive cards like, say, Odd Eyes Raging Dragon, Burst Stream of Destruction, and stuff like that. So it's really good to have on the field just to protect your monsters that can't defend themselves from destroy effects. So it's really good to have, and it's actually very simple to summon. So it's a level 8 synchro monster. So you just have your Flamevale Guard, and you can tune your Flamevale Guard with your Red Eyes Black Dragon, and you can make you can synchro summon Stardust Dragon. Sorry, I just got my tongue in knots. Trying to talk fast and trying to explain how these cards work. Sorry, I'm just talking a bit fast because I'm trying to make this as quick as I can, as well as explaining how to use the extra deck as well. 1 copy of Clearwing Synchro Dragon. I don't just... You'll probably know what I use it for, but as well as this, I can also... so if I say use Meteor Dragon Red Eyes Impact on the field and I have Flamevale Guard, I can make Clearwing Synchro Dragon. So just in case I don't have a level 7 and I have a level 6, I can make this. And if I have an extra Flamevale Guard lying around, I can make Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. So Clearwing basically has a negate and destroy effect and gain attack points. This is basically Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon's just a straight up upgraded version of obviously it's an evolved form. But you basically, when this card battles a monster, like say, if it was battling Obelisk the Tormentor, you can just basically charge at it, and it gains Obelisk's attack points, and basically can win any fight from against anything that's levels 5 or higher. So it's a pretty cool card to have. So it is basically a walking honest. So it can win any fight. Almost any fight, not against Lynx. I don't think, I don't think it'd stand a chance against Link monsters. 2 copies of Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. Okay, so 2 copies of Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, always important, especially since you be running some level 7s. And I like using Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon or Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon as Xyz materials. You can also use Clearwing Sync Dragon for Xyz materials if you want to. So that's a good thing. So you can have an extra level 7 in your on the field, and yeah, you can make Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. Cannot be destroyed by card effects, and it basically, while it has Xyz materials, while this has an Xyz material and my opponent activates a card effect, I can inflict 500. So if your opponent's just doing a 5-minute combo, 5-minute combo that's taken forever, not as in like stalling or anything, but more of like, say, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, chain every single effect. Just have this on the field and just sit back and just watch him basically burn his life points away. So it's really, it's an absolute hilarious card to use, especially when it's your opponent's turn. But its Xyz material effect is basically that, okay, I can just bring back a normal Red Eyes monster. So you can use Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon for the Gemini effect for this, but yeah. My favorite Xyz monster that I love using. An extra Xyz monster that I own is number 11 Big Eye. That's another spellcaster for your Dragon Revival Rasfidi. So number 11 Big Eye just basically is basically your rank 7 version of Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon. So basically, you can detach material and take control of your opponent's monster. And yeah, really awesome. One copy, well, for Link Monsters now, we got one copy of Decode Talker. Basically gains 500 attack points for every monster it points to. When your opponent activates a card effect, it's basically another negate and destroy effect, so that's really cool. And I run 2 copies of Wee Witch's Apprentice, which Wee Witch's Apprentice basically requires 2 dark monsters, obviously, because I use Red Eyes monsters, and most of my Red Eyes cards are dark attributed, so you can use these for, which goes so well with, say, Dark Honest as well, because of, you know, the Dark Honest hand trap. So cards that basically support dark attributed monsters. All dark monsters on the field gain 500 attack points, but light monsters on the field lose 400 attack and defense. And if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, I can basically add a any dark monster I want from the deck, from the graveyard to the hand, if I want to. So that's actually really cool. And can also, since this is a spellcaster, I can actually use Dragon Revival Rasfidi for these. So really awesome card to use in your Red Eyes, and actually helps out with with supporting not just dragon types, but also attributed monsters, dark attributed monsters. Yeah, so that's a lot to say. So as my Red Eyes deck, hope you guys like it. I mean, it's not a straight up competitive deck, but not perfect, but it is what it is, and I'm just showing off this Red Eyes deck that I like using for yeah, for whatever I liked anyway. Well, yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys like the video, and yeah, so this is my updated Red Eyes Black Dragon deck. I've already said it basically 5 friggin' times. Oh dear. Anyways, yeah, so I hope you guys like the video, and I will catch you next time. See ya.